You asked for it. Today I'm giving it to you. Roasted root vegetable soup. This is a hearty, wonderful, creamy soup. You'll forget you're on keto. Hi, welcome back to the channel, Keto Over 50. I'm RJ, and I am excited to share some of my greatest family recipes with you after I've ketofied them. But this one needed no ketofication. Can I say that? Let's get started. I can guarantee you I have never made this soup exactly the same way twice because I go to the store and I buy what looks good and fresh. A lot of you want to know how to cut an onion too, and I can show you how to make easy work of that and a clove of garlic, which I have here. So this is what you want, is a bounty of color. Let's look at what I have here for this soup today. And I finally broke down and bought some fresh parsley. If you've watched my earlier videos, you'll know what that's all about. So I have a head of cabbage. I got a little one, a bunch of Brussels sprouts, which adds such a nice peppery flavor to the soup. I got a rutabaga. You can tell I only got a few of some things or one of others because when you put them all together, it's going to make a lot of soup. I got my biggest roasting pan, my giant Circulon roasting pan out of the cupboard. So I have, let's see, a rutabaga, purple onion. You can use a regular onion, a sweet onion, again, based on your taste, but I like the red onion for this. I got a few carrots, and don't freak out about the carbs. I will list what the carbs are per vegetable so that you know. But the thing is, by the time you put this all together and we add butter and stock and a finishing cream for silky texture, you're not going to be in carb danger. I don't think so. You could also, you could add chicken to the soup or bacon or anything else, but I want to be pure with this today and just do roasted root vegetables. So I was going to get just 2 carrots, and this little guy was like, oh, take me with you. So I brought him home too. Then I have parsnips. If you've never had these, they look identical to horseradish. I think so. And they again have just a really nice, interesting root vegetable flavor. I got a bundle of green onions, and I will probably use half of these, maybe 3 or 4. Just again, they have that sharp taste that you love. And I have a clove of garlic that's separated, and I'm getting ready to smash that and peel it. So if you see anything here, like I have a friend who doesn't eat garlic. So if you don't want garlic, don't add the garlic. This is a soup that the hardest part, I'm going to fast forward through for you, is cleaning everything, peeling, cleaning, chopping, and I will fast forward through that. And then we just roast it. So I'm trying to not call everything I make easy, but it's really easy. So we're going to call this simple roasted root vegetable soup. I forgot to mention 2 bad guys on this table of vegetables. I did get a sweet potato. By the time I peel them and dice them, it will not even be a cup. And 1 little red potato. When I used to make the soup before I was keto, I put lots of potatoes in it. And I just think it adds a creamy texture. And these are not really the enemy. It's when you put tons of butter and brown sugar and everything else to eat a sweet potato or corn syrup, right? And that was the smallest decent looking potato I could find. So yeah, we've got those 2. Okay, so I'm halfway done cleaning the vegetables, getting them ready to chop. And I wanted to share a few little tips with you in case you are a beginner chef. I want to make this easy for you. So while I cleaned up the 8 Brussels sprouts that I have here, here's one in its raw form. They grow on a stalk. So all I did was cut off the end because they're kind of tough. And then you just peel the outside. Oopsie. You just peel the outside inner leaves, take them at the root and peel them up because those have been exposed to the elements. And if you find anything that looks foreign. Just cut that off, okay? So then you have a beautiful little Brussels sprout. And we can go ahead and cut those halves or quarters depending on how big they are. And this is super simple. Just be very careful when you're using a butcher knife so that you don't hurt yourself. And forgive me for looking at what I'm doing while I'm doing it. When you're at this stage and you've got everything peeled and about ready to go, you want to make sure you turn on your oven, preheat it. You could put it at 350 to 365. I've got mine at 365 because this is a very heavy pan. And if I was using something thinner or lighter or ceramic bakeware, I might want to use 350. But since I have the big heavy pan, I'm going at 365. Then we just cut up everything else. These are the parsnips once they're peeled. It's just a rough chop. Just go to the market. If you have a farmer's market, that would be amazing. Just go to a market and buy what looks fresh and what looks good. And root vegetables are the vegetables that grow in the ground like carrots. These guys are tough. Oh. So I saved a little bit of the rutabaga for you to show you. I peeled it. I cut off the bottom. It had a few roots coming out of it. So I cut off the bottom and I just peeled it. And you could use a paring knife if you prefer, or you can use a potato peeler and get that skin off. You don't want to eat that. So that's how you do a rutabaga. The onion is coming, okay? So, and then you cut off the big stem, and then we're going to cut him up. Oh God, he's hard. Once you can cut them down the middle and put them side by side, it'll be a lot easier to chop them. All right, let's tackle this cabbage here. Be sure to stay till the end of the recipe, and I have a special message for you at the end that you're just going to love. And you'll see how I finish off the soup once it's done as well. So with the cabbage, I've done exactly what I did to the Brussels sprouts. I cut off the stump, I peeled the outside layers, and that's it. So what? There's always one who wants to jump out, isn't there? They just don't want to be a part of this party. It's going to deliver outstanding flavor. Cabbage and Brussels sprouts both have that peppery quality that you can't really replicate with seasoning. I'm not happy unless I'm sending things flying across the kitchen, right? You know, I always, when I would watch professional chefs on TV, they hate waste. I'm like, I don't have a problem throwing that out, other than getting it in the trash can. I have a big problem with that. Oh my God. So that's all taken care of now. I decided to do 3 green onions, and it adds a really nice kick to this soup. There we go. That's easy peasy. And you remember the sweet potato. It wasn't a yam. It wasn't an orange yam. It was a yellow or a golden sweet potato. So again, we're just gonna, so here I'm just chopping up the little potato that I added. And you know, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're maintaining, I'd say throw in 1 sweet potato. This is gonna make about 15 servings, 20 servings maybe, depending on how big the serving is. If you're serving it in a fancy large bowl, like at a restaurant, you know, that might be 2 cups. It's going to make a lot because we're going to add stock, and we're going to add butter and some heavy whipping cream. And you're going to have it either as an appetizer or as an entree. And you're just going to love the flavor. There's nothing else like it. So you're not eating gallons of this. You're not eating like an old-fashioned big old bowl of pasta. It's nothing that's going to hurt you because you're going to have about a cup, maybe a cup and a half as a serving. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you how to go through garlic so fast. So when you have a garlic clove, you can cut off the end And sometimes they will just peel beautifully, just automatically. Look at that. The skin came right off of it. Otherwise, if you have a lot of garlic cloves and you need to get them ready for a recipe, just smash them with the side of your knife. What that does is it pulls the skin away from the clove. And then I cut off the little stem. And voila, I have a peeled garlic clove. Easy. And now we're going to do the onion. You all want to know how to cut an onion. I was doing it wrong most of my life, and then I learned how to do it. You cut off the top. Now you have the bottom, which is the hairy part, the roots that go into the ground. And this is where the sprouts come up, like those green onions, like this part on the green onions. They have their big ball in the bottom of the ground. So you want to cut off the top first and then cut it in half this way. Nothing too hard so far, right? Now it's very easy to grab the outer edges and peel. All you have to do, because he's still attached from the bottom, from his roots, and all you have to do, depending on how big he is, you can cut horizontally this way. Watch your hands. Be very careful. You don't have to go all the way through. Usually 2 slices that way. 1 slice down the middle, another slice down the middle, and maybe a 3rd slice down the middle. And what happens is then when you go to slice it, it's automatically diced. It's so perfect. Look at that. It's already diced. That is one of the easiest hacks to ever learn, is how to cut an onion. And right down to the end, you can use a gadget, a device to hold the onion. I'm just using my nails. And that quick, you have perfectly diced onions. They're all in uniform size and shape, and it's all diced, it's all chopped. If it doesn't go through all the way, just hit it with that. Uh-oh. I'm going to start crying. It's so easy. I'm just mixing it all in, all these vegetables together. You might want to finish it with parsley when it's all done and you're serving it, but I wanted to cook some of the parsley too. And again, it doesn't have to be a great chop, just a little chop. It's going to add some color. God, I have vegetables everywhere now. So I melted butter. I switched to EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons, maybe 3. And I have a stick of butter here, which looks like a ton of butter. The reason why I'm doing this with a spoon instead of just dumping it all in is I really want it to coat every bit of vegetables in here. And of course, after 30 minutes, I'll take it out and stir it again and make sure everything gets coated with seasoning and butter. All right, so now we're going to put some ground black pepper, and I've got the pink Himalayan salt for this. When I serve the soup, I'll top it with the Maldon salt, the crystal salt from Ireland. Get everything mixed together with the oil and the butter. Get it all ready to go. But it's just such a beautiful, I know, the carrots and the sweet potatoes aren't, if you're trying to lose weight, I would put in 1 carrot and no sweet potato. I can't wait for some of you to make, I can't wait for all of you to make it, but for you to make it and then let me know how it turned out. So I preformed this aluminum foil. Off it goes into the oven. So I've set the oven for 60 minutes. I will take it out and I will stir it, and I will set it 30 minutes after that. You want it to where when you stick a fork into the carrots or the parsnip or any of those hard vegetables, the fork should come right out. And that's how you know when it's done. So it's been an hour since I put the vegetables in the oven. Let's see what we have here. We're just going to test for doneness. So you can see I could cut the parsnip with the side of the spoon. The carrots, oh, they're almost there. There's a little bit of give to them. We can put it back in, and at this point, we're going to do it for 20-minute increments, and maybe just one 20-minute increment will get it done. I have my big stock pot out because what we're going to do when this is all done and fully cooked, so I'm going to put it in the big pot. I'm going to add some stock. I'm going to add some heavy whipping cream to make it silky and fabulous. We're going to put it back in the oven and see you back here in just a second. It's so smoky. It smells delicious. It's been an hour and a half. Well, they're roasted now. I'm seeing everything there. Look at this. It's so beautiful. The parsnips, the Brussels sprouts, and it's so delicious. I can smell all the different vegetables in there. So what's next? Glad you asked. I am going to put just a little bit. If you watched my cream of mushroom soup video, you know that I put in about a cup of chicken stock into that one. I'm using vegetable stock today. And I put in too much and it absolutely splattered everywhere. It was quite the disaster, but that's okay. And I'm going to put in just a little bit of my favorite, better than bouillon, chicken stock. Oh, I'm getting stronger, I see. I've got a big tablespoon here. It's officially what I call a glump of chicken stock. And the heat from the vegetables will melt that. So I have just about, not even a cup of stock in here. We're going to see how it goes. I'm scared. I want to make sure you can see how this is transforming here. Okay, I think I can add a little more liquid because it's very thick. I just don't want it to splash. I'll end up using all of this, which is 32 ounces. Okay, you can see I've been doing this for a few minutes now, 2 minutes, not long. And it's about the consistency of mashed potatoes, kind of. So I am going to add a little more stock. That will make it easier to puree. Okay, it's shaping up beautifully. And we're going to put the rest of this in there, all that stock. And because all the vegetables are now pureed, it shouldn't splatter. Surprise kitchen. You never know what's going to happen, but it's going to turn out delicious. This is organic chicken stock from Trader Joe's. I want to add a little bit more butter, another half a stick. And I want to add it while the soup is still hot. So I've added another cup of chicken stock. And you can see the texture, how creamy it is. It's not like mashed potatoes, which would, I think, not be as palatable. It has to be soup. So now I'm going to add a few pats of butter, about another half a cup of butter. And those will melt in. So the butter's been incorporated now, and I think it's time for a quick taste test to see if it needs more salt and pepper. And this is, of course, totally up to you, your preference, to see how you like it. A lot of people like a lot of salt in their food or pepper. They want it spicier. Okay, I think it needs a little more salt. I'm pretty good at knowing what I'm shaking in there, and you can see. And I like a lot of pepper because it just adds such a nice flavor. You know, if you ever watch cooking shows, a competition, the head chef will always say, "Did you taste it?" along the way. It's so important because you certainly don't want to serve it without knowing what it tastes like. That kicked it up just perfectly. This is so amazing as a soup because there's that little undertone of sweetness from some of the vegetables. There's the peppery goodness of the Brussels sprouts and the cabbage that are natural, the onions, the garlic, everything that's in here has such a great flavor of its own. And when you blend them all together, it's a symphony of flavor. It's so good. So now the last step is adding some heavy whipping cream. And you're going to be able to see in the overhead cam just what that does to it. So here's a half a cup. I think I'm going to add a little bit more, maybe a whole cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm a big fan of a little of this, a little of that, and a little more of that. So, okay, so we're going to stir that in. Beautiful. That's it. We're done. Isn't that just remarkable? Cream of roasted root vegetable soup. And here's the big payoff. I am going to top it. I chopped parsley since I have fresh parsley now. We have to have something get stuck in my teeth, right? And I'm going to finish it with just a touch of the Maldon salt. It's unlike anything else. So I really like that. Okay, let's see how I did. No two batches are ever the same. It depends on what vegetables look good at the store that day. Oh, wow. I haven't had this in about a year. And I always make it in the fall. And then I have 7 containers in the freezer of it. And I share it with friends. I will take some to my friend tomorrow. That is just amazing. Now, I promised you a little bonus at the end. You may not know, I have been a motivational speaker for about 20 years. I love to lift you up and inspire you. So if you're having a challenge with something, feel free to comment and I'll get back to you. Let me know what the hardest part is of this keto journey and I will answer. At this point, when you ask me something, I will get back to you. In fact, a few of you, I had mentioned my roasted root vegetable soup before, and they're like, oh, please make it. We want to see how you make it. Here I am making it for you. I'm getting ready to make an almond ricotta cake that I have served to non-keto guests who asked me for the recipe afterwards. So that's going to be a very special video too. What can I do for you that will help you the most for keto over 50 on that journey? I'm so excited. Our country's getting healthier again. I think we're going to see a big difference in the foods we eat. Clear skies. I'm really excited for where things are going. And I am so happy to be on the forefront of the keto journey with you, especially for those of you who are over 50. I'm so grateful that you're here. I hope if you enjoy this content and you want to see the rest of what I'm doing, making, talking about, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get a notification when I have a new video, like and share. And as always, please share your comments. I'd love to know where you are, what your greatest challenges are with this journey. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you on our keto journey together. This is RJ for Keto Over 50. Stay beautiful.